Good morning. I'd like to welcome everybody to the Tuesday, October 31st meeting of the St. Joseph County Board of Commissioners. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you.
Waiting for Mr. Caruso to sit so we can start the meeting.
Okay, our first item of business is the accounts payable docket. Do we have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
Commissioner Fleming, how do you vote?
Aye.
Commissioner Dieter, how do you vote?
Aye.
Commissioner Baxmeyer, how do you vote?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Next item is our Employee of the Month for September. Commissioner Dieter,
I've got October.
you've got October. Who has September?
September?
Deb has September.
Yeah. Kip Walters and David Fain. Yes,
Step
These
up to the
two-
Podium.
yeah. These two individuals show up to work with a helpful attitude each and every day. They have swiftly moved to assist a fellow employee in a serious emergency this year and retrieved him help right away. They both serve as a support system for all of their fellow employees and strangers. We want to thank you for all of your hard work and are super grateful for the heroic actions that you two have presented. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Would you like to add on to that, sir?
Dave's not here, they're on the way, so
Sky?
If they're on the way, why don't
Yeah.
we wait a moment?
Oh, flip it
Thanks.
around? Why is that?
I was going to go.
Oh, well, yeah.
That was,
Yep.
Yes,
Caruso was supposed to take care of that, and he was a little late.
yes.
You didn't get the memo this morning? I tell you what, why don't we wait till, if they're on their way, let's wait a moment.
Oh, they're not here yet?
Not,
No, not yet.
got one more person.
Oh, yeah. I'm sorry.
So we will just wait a few moments. Commissioner Dieter,
Mr. Kevin Kelsheimer to the podium, please.
I'm sorry.
so we will just wait a few moments.
Mr.
Commissioner Dieter.
Kelsheimer, as, Mr. Kevin Kelsheimer to the podium, please. Many people in this room probably know, but for those who don't,
I'm sorry.
Kevin
So we
began his career working for St. Joe County
Commissioner
on
Dieter.
October 25th, 1973.
Kevin
Kelsheimer to the podium. And we'll fix this in a minute, please. Many people in this room probably know. Hopefully they don't talk bad about me. We good? Okay. Kevin started for the St. Joe County Police on October 25th of 1973. I think Hodge was born in 73, is that correct? And probably some other people weren't even born. When he began his career, it's interesting, because I started in the South Bend Police in 75, but back when him and Bob Finn were running warrants for St. Joe County, which was basically bounty hunting, which was a good gig. On the northwest side, it was very enjoyable at that time, back in the late 70s, to assist them in tracking people down for felony warrants and misdemeanor warrants. A lot of crazy situations, and I don't know if you recall, and you're shaking your head on Harrison, at the corner of Van Buren, they arrested a person, I believe the last name was Gatchell. The wife was pretty upset that her husband was being taken away and asked us, this is ridiculous. I want to go to jail also. What do I need to do? I go, hit one of us, and she hit Kevin. Which ended up, she went to jail. So he spent how many years on the police department?
27 and a half.
Okay.
Wow.
Can you pull the microphone
Yeah,
up so we can?
There you
There you
go.
go.
27 and a half.
Okay, and after that, he also then decided to be a phenomenal person by working with the veterans, and he does veterans everywhere. Anybody that comes to their office or calls and needs help, and for those who don't know, we get the monthly statistics, and it's amazing of the hundreds of people that they attempt to help find either medical or housing or just talking to the veterans who have problems. So Kevin has led that with Sue working with him. It's a very tedious job, a very hard job, a very frustrating job at times, but this young man has weathered the storm and is just a tremendous asset. Once for all those years on the police department, which used to be a great job. And then now, not more importantly, but it's an extremely important job that the things that he has spearheaded in his office to help people who are just looking for help, like I said, from either medical or housing or work-related or just want to talk to somebody. So they do a phenomenal job. So I can tell you on behalf of St. Joe County, we really appreciate your efforts you've done for longer than Mike Mish has been alive. So that's pretty impressive once you go through that. So cool. Carl?
We see, as Derek said, we see those reports every month, so he's absolutely right. We see how hard you and the office work to help our veterans, and we certainly appreciate that very much.
Thank you.
I'm glad we can recognize you.
Thank you.
Yes. Thank you.
The mic is yours if you'd like to say anything.
Well, I got another 50 more years to go.
Well, come on
Don't
up
go
here,
away.
young man. You have a proclamation there, Will, with these lovely parting gifts?
There you go. Thank you. Congratulations.
Everybody else, employees and citizens. I think it was Ken that set that up. So are these the guys we've been waiting for? Okay, go run up to the podium. Come on, you just don't walk in and go in the back. Come on.
Yeah. So Dave's here? David's here? Yay.
Okay, Deb will read your stuff.
Oh, do you want me to read it again?
Sure.
Okay. Okay, so what I just said, Kip Walters and David Fain. Dave's here, say hi. Hi. Yay, because he's Employee of the Month for September. And again, these two individuals show up to work with a helpful attitude each and every day. They have swiftly moved to assist a fellow employee in a serious emergency this year and retrieved him help right away. They both serve as a support system for all of their fellow employees and strangers. We want to thank you for all you hard work and are super grateful for the heroic actions that you two have presented. Well, again, I just read this, but you weren't here, but I'm glad you're here now. Yes, thank you so much for being Employee of the Month in September. Yay.
So I'm Mike Cutler, I'm the Assistant Highway Superintendent. I'm gonna give you a brief description of what happened. We had an employee who had a situation happen, passed out, hit his head against the wall, bleeding, foaming at the mouth. Dave found him first, coming at me and his supervisor, Will. Will, raise your hand. Will's his assistant. We drug him out into the bathroom on the floor, and we proceeded to try to get him conscious, knowing that Kip here is a volunteer fireman. I sent someone to grab Kip while Will got hold of 911, and Kip come right in, being a fireman and a paramedic, knew exactly what to do to gain his conscience, and potentially saved his life. So I just want to thank these two for their efforts and what they did, and Gene's very appreciative of it too. And also, this guy here, in, what was it? We come back after Memorial Day weekend, and we had an employee who also passed away at our shop, had a heart attack. And Dave was one of the first ones who found him and began to try CPR. Unfortunately, it didn't save his life, but his heroic efforts in trying to save Brett Forsey, God rest his soul, he was an integral part in trying to save his life too. So I just want to say thank you too for what you do. And Dave here is also a volunteer fireman also. So I just want to say thank you, and we're glad to have these volunteers on our staff, these firefighters, because what we do is very dangerous. Stuff can happen at any moment, and when you got guys on our staff that can help out before paramedics get there is awesome. So just want to say thank you too.
Sky? I think Mr. Cutler said it. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
As well said.
First, I'd like to thank you two gentlemen for doing the things you've done. It's been a tough year up there, but again, the unsung, non-noticed people that happen every day in county government, the people that are on the highway, that's the perfect example. Are out there 24 hours a day. It'll be snowing coming up, and people have no clue unless they've ever sat next to you in a truck of when you're trying to plow and people are cutting you off and the conditions are horrible. I can tell you again that the commissioners appreciate everything y'all do, from Sky to Charlie to the big man there and everything that goes on. You guys have never flinched, never complained about anything. You just go out and do your jobs when we've needed help in Portage Manor by either cutting a path in the woods or picking up all the garbage and crap we pick up out there. You guys have never flinched, never complained, always do an outstanding job. So we, the commissioners, really appreciate everything you've done, especially with these last two incidents. It's just, we're proud that you all work for us, so thank you very much.
Thank you.
Come on up here, you got these lovely gifts. We come up here and do like a picture. You're on the staff.
Dave?
There you go, Dave. Congratulations, man. Appreciate it, thank you. Charlie said you can have the day off now, is that correct? Sure. All right. Come in there like a high school graduation picture.
Yay.
Every January we have a big banquet, so we'll invite you guys or everybody through the year and come and do a big ceremony. Sky gets up there and does karaoke. Oh, I'm sure he's gonna do He's gonna be a band of laundry shop, a possible stranger. So him and I have something coming. Karaoke too. Oh, yeah? Okay. Okay. All right, so we get the day off. We get the day off or no? Hey, hey, hey. Hey, hey. Okay, you get to go home early, Charlie?
Well, thank you. Well deserved for all involved. Next, procurement, approval of agreement with Marsh Consultants for the space allocation study.
Good morning, Commissioners. Bree Roberts with offices on the 7th floor of this building. Before you today is the formal agreement with Marsh Consultants, Inc. for work to be performed in relation to the previously awarded space allocation study. The SAS portion of this corresponding RFP was awarded on August 29th of this year. The cost of the study, as outlined, is not to exceed $89,000 and is further delineated in Appendix D of the agreement of which you have received. Department of Procurement asks for your approval of this engagement as set forth, including the corresponding department addendum.
Just to note, Marsh has been working on this, and this is just the formal agreement with them. Appreciate their efforts already. Any questions or comments? If not, do we have a motion to approve the agreement with Marsh for the space allocation study?
So moved.
Second.
Commissioner Fleming, how do you vote?
Aye.
Commissioner Dieter, how do you vote?
Aye.
Commissioner Baxmeyer, how do you vote?
Aye,
Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you, Bree Roberts.
thank you. Infrastructure planning and growth. First item is the approval of project number 211, the Angela Boulevard Bridge Rehabilitation Project Completion Affidavit.
Sky Metters, County Engineer, Department of Infrastructure Planning and Growth, offices on the 7th and 11th floor of this building. This first item is the official closeout for the Angela Road Bridge, which we did this summer. The final project cost was $414,231.33. We've reviewed this completion affidavit and request your approval.
If I'm not mistaken, that was done actually faster than we had originally anticipated.
Yes, we ended up opening it about a month earlier than what we anticipated.
Just before football games, right?
Before football games, and also so that the people that use that bridge every day can get
I
downtown
know
quicker.
our director of EMA appreciates
Yes.
that, going to church at Holy Cross. So.
Yeah, it was a very good project. Looks good out there.
You did a good job also.
Glad it's
Thanks.
completed. Any further questions or comments? Hearing none, do we have a motion to approve the project completion affidavit for the Angela Boulevard Bridge project?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Commissioner Fleming, how do you vote?
Aye.
Commissioner Dieter, how do you vote?
I'm going aye.
Commissioner Baxmeyer, how do you vote?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Next item is the approval of the NDOT contract R37502, the Auten Road Multi-Use Trail Recommendation.
This is for the federal aid project, which was the trail on Auten Road from 933 to Laurel Road, back towards the park. That trail has been completed on the north side of Auten, and what this is a recommendation to completion of NDOT's form, recommendation for acceptance. Since this was an NDOT project, we're required to use their paperwork. Well, I should say NDOT, federally aided project through NDOT. We're required to use their paperwork, and this form has been reviewed by our office, and we recommend approval.
Any questions?
Is that going further west, or we're just going north to the?
At this
Park.
time, it's stopped right at the park entrance there. We have a study going on, preliminary engineering going on to connect the trail at Clay Park to the north to the new trail. And then on our Auten Road Bridge project, which is scheduled for 2026, the Auten Road Bridge will be widened to include a path across the bridge to continue that to the west.
Would that go up Laurel if you do that from the park, Clay Park up? that
Yeah,
way?
we plan to, yes, that's
I
part
think-
of it.
Bill's not here, that they were contemplating if it's going to be on I think the west side of the road as opposed to the east.
Yeah, right now, the phase we're looking at, we'll look at which side is best to do that, because we got a couple big structures
Right.
through there. And then where we can have right-of-way and easements and those types of things. But right now, there's a study, I say study, it's preliminary engineering going on to look at that, and they just completed the field survey phase of that.
Yeah, because I ride out there a lot, that'll be a
Yeah.
good a good spot to help out there.
Yeah, the big,
Mr.
the
Mish.
big, the big thing that'll really help is when we get the Otten Road Bridge done and we get a path across there. So we tend to want to widen, we're going to widen that and put a 10-foot path across there in addition to the cars. Because right now, there's really no easy way to get across
Time it,
that
man.
bridge.
Can't go when cars are out there, you get
Right.
smoked.
Yep.
As you know, we've received some questions about which side, and just want to
Yes.
emphasize that we are in the preliminary design phase.
Yes,
and
sir.
Timing on when we can expect a,
We should know something. I looked at the schedule the other day. Within, I believe it's about 3 more months. They'll be, have something for us to look at.
good.
So, since they just finished up the field survey.
If there are no other questions or comments, do we have a motion to approve the NDOT contract for the,
Motion to approve.
Second.
Commissioner Fleming, how do you vote?
Aye.
Commissioner Dieter, how do you vote? Commissioner Baxmeyer, how do you vote?
aye.
Motion carries.
Next is approval of contract R37-496, added travel lanes and bridge replacement on Douglas Road and Ironwood at various locations between Ivy Road and State Road 23. This is change order number 15.
Yes, this is a situation where, when we were doing excavating near the end of the project, we located a valve vault with water service connections to 2 homes that wasn't identified earlier during the survey. And we had to do some work there to get a new vault in there because the one that was there wasn't sufficient, and also some piping. That ended up coming up to a total of $30,674, plus or minus. It increased, that's a slight increase in the $12 million project, but overall, right now, that project is pretty much completed, other than some small punch list items, and we're at about 5.3% increase from the original contract price. But if you haven't driven it yet, I think you should get out there and drive it. It's a pretty nice project, and it's really helped with congestion in that area.
Sky, wasn't there also an issue with a gas line not being at the depth?
Yeah, we had that several times throughout the project, and that was handled under a different change order, if I recall, but that slowed things down a bit with the gas line not being at the proper depth. They had to go out and lower it so that we could do the work we needed to do. We ran into utility issues throughout the project, but some of that can be expected on a project this big.
Yeah, just being slightly over 5% is not unusual.
Right, not unusual at all. Yes.
But we don't anticipate any more change orders coming, or will there be one?
You know, the minute I say that, we're gonna have a change order because we didn't put enough quantity in for grass or something. But there should not be any significant change orders coming beyond this, after this.
Good. Anything else, questions or comments? If not, do we have a motion to approve contract R37-496 for the Douglas Road project, change order number 15?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Commissioner Fleming, how do you vote?
Aye.
Commissioner Dieter, how do you vote?
Aye.
Commissioner Baxmeyer, how do you vote?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Next is approval of settlement, release, and access agreement as it relates to Jude Creek.
This is a request for approval of the settlements. We've received 2 more settlement signed agreements in from a couple other residents out at Judy Creek Estates, and this is a request for those to be approved by the board. We've reviewed them and request your approval.
And we've had several other times when people have returned those.
Yeah.
If there are no questions or comments, do we have a motion to approve the settlement, release, and access agreements?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Commissioner Fleming, how do you vote?
Aye.
Commissioner
Aye.
Dieter, how do you vote? Commissioner Baxmeyer, how do you vote?
Aye.
Motion carries.
And finally, under IPG, approval of request to advertise for the federal aid project number 190048, construction engineering for Cleveland Road at the Beach Road intersection.
Yes, this is we'd like to advertise for construction engineering for a project that will be let next year for the Cleveland Beach roundabout that will be constructed next year. The construction engineering will be 80-20, where 80% will be federal money, 20% will be local. And we'd like to advertise on Friday, November 3rd and November 10th with letters of interest being due on November 28th. We request your approval.
Any questions, comments? If not, do we have a motion to approve advertising for the federal aid project for Cleveland Road at Beach Road?
Motion to approve it.
Second.
Commissioner Fleming, how do you vote?
Aye.
Commissioner Dieter?
Aye.
Commissioner Baxmeyer, how do you vote?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thanks, Sky. From the Building Department, approval of demolition bid awards.
Good morning, Phil Garrett, Counsel for the Building Department, offices at 420 Lincoln Way West.
Randy James, Building Commissioner, offices at 125 South Lafayette, Suite 100.
A few weeks ago, if you'll recall, you accepted awards for, our bids for demolitions of 6 properties for this year's demolition projects. Staff has reviewed those those bids from Beaver Excavating and is asking that the commissioners award the same. Total amount to be awarded is $128,900.
We thought you gave a good presentation when these first were brought to us. Is there any question on this? If not, do we have a motion to approve the awarding of the demolition bids
And all these bids then are, right?
to
They're all-
demolish those properties? Yes.
Yes, all of them. Okay, yeah. Motion to approve.
Second.
Commissioner Fleming, how do you vote?
Aye.
Commissioner Dieter, how do you vote?
Aye.
Commissioner Baxmeyer, how do you vote?
Aye.
Motion
Thank you.
carries.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you for doing all that work. Thank you.
Next is Emergency Management Agency, approval of the award of the EMA siren improvements.
Good morning. My name is Al Kursitz. I'm the director of the St. Joseph County Emergency Management Agency with offices at 125 South Lafayette, Suite 100, where the door is always open and you're always welcome.
They're currently open right now?
Yeah, no, we locked them on the way
They're
out.
not always.
It's all about security and safety with EMA, IDHS standards. What we're here for today is the approval of the award of our siren, outdoor warning siren improvement using ARP funds. With me is Michael Krisman, our project manager, and I'll allow him to speak about this.
Michael Krisman, engineer with DLZ, 2211 East Jefferson Boulevard in South Bend. You should have a copy of our recommendation letter in front of you. We reviewed the 4 bids received last week during the commissioners' meeting. We contacted all 4 bidders for verification of the bids. We found the low bidder, which is West Shore Services, found them to be highly qualified to perform the work. The total amount of $1,071,884.64, which includes the base bid plus alternates 1, 2A, and 3, is below the engineer's estimate for the job. It's also within the county's allocated budget to perform the work. So we believe it's a great value for the county and recommend awarding the contract for the base bid plus the alternates 1, 2A, and 3 to West Shore Services.
No, I'd like to thank our EMA, Mr. Lopez and Mr. Kursitz, and DLZ for all the hard work. There's a lot of things that were still out in the universe floating around, but everybody tightened it up and finally got to a good thing that's going to be very advantageous to get our sirens up and running the way they should have been decades ago. So thanks to Buddy and Jimmy for taking care of that, and DLZ for all your hard work to get all this stuff done.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes.
And then once you leave, the door can be open.
Yes.
If there are no other Questions or comments? Do we have a motion to approve the award of the EMA siren improvements to West Shore Services?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Commissioner Fleming, how do you vote?
Aye.
Commissioner Dieter, how do you vote?
Aye.
Commissioner Baxmeyer, how do you vote?
Aye.
Thank you.
Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you
gentlemen.
very much.
Moving on to the clerk, approval of the Indiana Secretary of State's Help America Vote Act election security grant.
Hello, Amy Rolfus, Clerk of the Circuit Court. My office is in the basement of 101 South Main Street. I would like to get your approval to apply for grants, 3 separate grants, all through the Help America Vote Act, through the Secretary of State office. And they are for election security. The Secretary of State is very focused on election security, and so I wanted to apply for 3 separate grants.
Timeline for when the Secretary of State's office might approve these requests?
The grant is due today, and they are going to look at them throughout November, and they said that by the end of November, they would be doing the awards.
I'd like to note that Secretary of State Morales came up and met with us out there so that he could see for himself what needs are.
Yes, I've been very happy with the Secretary of State's office in support of St. Joseph County election security, so.
Yes, I'm very happy with the Secretary of State, too. Yeah, I like him, yes.
I'd like to thank Amy and her staff for being proactive on this. Just the things that need to be done, that they have taken the initiative to attempt to secure as much funding as possible to take care of what we need. So thank you and your staff.
You're welcome. Thank you for your support as well.
Yes.
Our door's always open.
Do we have a motion to approve the submission of the security grant by the clerk to the Secretary of State?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Commissioner Fleming, how do you vote?
Aye.
Commissioner Dieter, how do you
Aye.
vote? Commissioner Baxmeyer, how do you vote?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you, Amy.
Thank you.
Under old business, we are still considering getting information on the Title 4D consulting services and hope to get that wrapped up in the near future. We will leave that on the table,
So we'll leave it still on the table then?
still on the table. And next is public comments. Does anybody in the audience wish to speak? Why did I anticipate?
Morning, Commissioners. Dan
morning.
Caruso, 305 Compton Street, New Carlisle. Happy Halloween. Nice mask, Dieter. I just wanted
Sorry,
to,
your time is up.
I just wanted to recognize Al and Jim. They put on a FEMA workshop at Howard Park on getting the whole county on the same page in each crisis that should come up. A lot of great information. They invited me to attend. I was happy to attend and picked up a lot of useful information. But again, thank you guys for the work you did.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else wish to speak in the audience? If not, we'll move to those online, and I see Cheryl Nix has her hand raised. There you go.
There I am. Sorry about that. Good morning, Cheryl Nix, 17901 Sable Ridge Drive, Clay Township. I just want to make sure it's very clear to every voter that as of right now, as of right this moment, our elections are secure. They can trust in the process. They were secure when Rita Glenn was the county clerk. Remember, the Indiana State Police did an entire investigation and found there was no wrongdoing. I don't want anyone afraid to vote early in person. I don't want anyone afraid to mail in a ballot. I've been a poll worker on 4 different occasions, both under Rita Glenn as county clerk and Amy Rawls as county clerk. There are so many safeguards in place. We have Republican judge, Democratic judge. We have the Republican clerks, the Democratic clerks. There's just so many checks and balances, so many steps in the process. So we have election integrity. I think that the new rule about having to have things in a locked room threw a lot of offices out. They were a little unsure about how to handle it, but they handled it as best they could. So I trusted in the process before, rightfully. I trust in the process now. I just want to make sure that nobody doubts that when they cast their ballot is counted. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Sherry Brown, I believe your hand was next.
Yes, it is. Can you hear me?
We can.
Okay. I would just like to bring to the attention here of the audience and people listening in, and to the commissioners. You probably haven't forgotten. You have a appointment to the library board coming up this December. You can reappoint the person who's in it, or you can choose someone else. I hope that you remain aware and support the principles of an open collection at the library that represents diverse viewpoints, and to refrain from appointing anyone who wants to censor these materials according to someone's religious or political views. And I hope when you appoint someone or reappoint someone to the board, you take that into consideration. Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else online wish to offer a comment? If not,
I have a comment.
okay.
Today is Halloween. And I wish everybody a happy Halloween. So
Thank you.
best wishes to everybody and enjoy today. All right. Yay.
There being
Happy
no further
Halloween.
business, do we have a motion to recess?
So moved.
Second.
Commissioner Fleming, how do you vote?
Aye.
Commissioner Dieter, how do you vote?
Aye.
Commissioner Baxmeyer, how do you vote?
Aye.
We're recessed.
We are recessed.
Thank you so much.
everybody.
No, I'm pointing to you, Mr. Dan.
Happy Halloween.
I need for that sod. Hey, Kevin,
Recording stopped.
how much, Dan, how much do I owe you? How much do I owe you? Okay. I gotta tell us what the